So Poops, what kind of school do you go to? But before you answer, I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't matter. Cause apparently, the best school in Malaysia is the Tahfiz school, at least according to this guy. So Poops, Tahfiz has been on the news ever since the Mara Tahfiz pilot drama, during which Ashraf Wajdi was like, yo, do you know that these people are some of the highest achievers in SPM? So naturally, some people have just been talking about Tahfiz day in and day out, including this Sapoop, who seems to be very passionate about Tahfiz and sharing this casual list of schools like these right here that showcasing that, do you know all of your schools out there are garbage? Tahfiz schools, they are so amazing, the best in Malaysia. Top, the very best. Whether they are Tahfiz schools or not is a separate matter, but anyway, basically this RPP decided to post this comment cause some guy with an anonymous account decided to ask all the non-Muslims, what do you know about Tahfiz, Sekolah Agama, Sekolah Pondok? Feel free to share what you all know. After which your Sapoop proceeded to get top comment right over here. Very fun. Thank you for the discussion. But yep, Tahfiz does have a bad rap. This cannot be denied. Somebody made the mistake of saying, what I know about Tahfiz is underage pregnancy, spoiled brat, semua masuk situ. Don't bash me up, okay? My interns told me that those cannot be controlled, semua masuk situ. Then you can find now those who vaping, drugs, unsafe sex, majority dari situ. That is why there are so many orphanage homes in Malaysia, and it goes on and on. After which this person right here gets triggered and responds by saying that, do you know that these Tahfiz schools are the very best? Whoa. I'll listen to your sage advice. I'll abandon my CHS, Subang Utama, GIS, Chongling. I'll also make sure to never go for these fancy canteens and toilets. No, but yeah, it is true though that Tahfiz schools have had a bad rap. I mean, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, and that happened, all in Tahfiz schools. The more and more you read about Tahfizers, the more it is that you discover that maybe based on the public information, this is not such a good environment. So anyway, I went right ahead and I posted this list right here to ask people what they actually think of this whole situation right here. Even as people discuss how wonderful the schools are. They are truly amazing. They have the best results. I'm not going to deny that there are some smart people from Tahfiz or all of these wonderful success stories shared by people who just refer to you as Apek, apparently. Ooh, how colorful. But I just have to wonder, why do people feel this need to show that what they have is better than other people? And how exactly do you measure a better school? I mean, if it's just purely by SPM results, I guess you kinda understand that schools like GIS and KTJ just wouldn't be included, despite the fact that they have some of the very best university admissions results in the entire country, which is just one way, by the way, of looking at the excellence of a school. I mean, sure, Tahfizers apparently lay claim to this lady right here, who is apparently extremely successful. And I'm in no doubt that Tahfizers have produced great and productive human beings. But I think as we've established before, every single school can do that. I mean, the whole reason that we're accepting the Mara pilot premise is that, hey, just because they go to Tahfiz, it doesn't mean that they can't take SPM or they can't take science subjects. But the question then is, does that mean that it is good for you to just randomly send your kid to a Tahfiz school because surely it is the best, you will have the best academics in this country? Well, you know, I gave a bit of an analogy. It's kind of simple to understand, and it basically goes like this. Let's say you're living in a kampong and then somehow you end up recruiting a whole bunch of people, and somehow you end up recruiting a whole bunch of Olympic runners to join your little running team. Then automatically what's going to happen is that your kampong team is going to become an Olympic standard running team. That's because of the people who are there, not necessarily because of the quality of the environment. It's just that you pick the right people. And if we were to guess, I guess that's the reason why a lot of these schools, which are extremely selective, manage to actually get their people there. But of course, you might be all like, no, that is nonsense. What matters most is that you have the very best students. Then you might ask,
Do these schools actually train their students well, or do they just recruit really smart students?
And you know, the interesting thing is that a whole bunch of people actually started posting pictures of like all of these Olympiad winners. That one guy who graduated from UEC and apparently is now a professor in China or something. All the different members of the IMO team.
Damn bro, you'd think they'd just look at this list and ask if any of the people here are Tahfiz people.
So okay, fine. I guess we could start with Olympians. So my first instinct was to go over to the AMISO page. If you don't know what AMISO is, it is the Association for Malaysia in the International Science Olympiads. I hung out with them a while ago when Tzu Tseng was president. Speaking of which, by the way, he goes to MIT and he went to Chongling, which is very much not a Tahfiz school. But you could also have a whole bunch of other people here. Asasi Pintar, I don't know if that's Tahfiz. Is Arif Tahfiz? Y'all can check. And it goes on right here and we see Chonghua, Inti. Oh wait, Academy Science Pendang? Wow, that was on our list earlier. This guy must be so smart, so amazing. Oh wait, his name is Evan Lim Hong Yan. Does he seem like a Tahfiz person to you? And you know, I thought about it over and over again, and I realized that, yeah, this list is not necessarily Tahfiz. Because if you don't know what Tahfiz is, it's basically an ECA where people go and they memorize the Quran. It's not like every single person in the school goes and memorizes the entire Quran, but somehow or another, you have people like that one guy who is so passionate about Tahfiz. He's saying that all of these people are Tahfiz, but how do you know that they are Tahfiz? But anyway, even ignoring that for a moment, I guess we could ask ourselves about who the outputs of all these schools happen to be. Did they win any Olympic medals? Ooh, maybe Azizul Hasni? Oh wait, not a Tahfiz student. Also, he lives in Australia. How interesting. How about our tycoons? I don't know if any of these people are Tahfiz students, probably not. But yeah, I don't know how legit the whole ranking thing is here. Cause again, a lot of these are just like SBPs, MRSMs, some of them are SMKAs, but I don't think just because you take part in Tahfiz, then you end up getting some sort of magical ability, which some people seem to think. They seem to think that if you memorize the Quran word for word or something like that, then you have some sort of magical power that makes it so that you can be respected, truly amazing as a Hufaz. Everybody needs to acknowledge your true amazingness. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if that means that you end up getting to be a part of the very best school ever, or even if it means anything. I think I would rather have my nice canteen and also the awesome toilets right here, which I think a lot of people agree with as well, because at the end of the day, it's just about having the environment where you can succeed and where you can feel better. And honestly, I don't see the need for everybody to just be taking part in this sort of crazy cultural war where they are just persoalkan ing UEC while they try to insist that their school is better than everybody else. It's like trying to show off your religion, which by the way, nobody actually cares about. You know, it would be really nice if we didn't have to go ahead and compare people to one another here, there, and everywhere. But unfortunately, we're in a space in this country where some people want to feel like they are the very best. Nobody can compete with them. Nega chail, chanaga. And frankly, I think that this kind of insecurity is the kind of thing that is casually destroying this country, because I don't think anybody really needs to know, bro, what kind of school you went to, because it's not what school you go to, but instead what you do with your experiences. But at the same time, you know, denying reality and the different things that happen here, there, and everywhere is probably not a very good way to go. But you know, if your kid somehow does well in their Tahfiz, adds to the ranking, outcompetes Evan Lim Hong Yan, and you have such a wonderful experience in school and everything, then all power to you. I hope that you feel better about yourself. But anyways, the poops, whatever it is, apparently Tahfiz schools are the best schools in Malaysia. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all I have to say about that, and bye.